Disclaimer. If you're my family, don't watch this. Just don't. Like, I'm gonna be talking about things that we don't want to talk about together. I love you, but if you could please like log out of this video, that would mean a lot, because like I don't want to ruin what we have going on. So family, love you, bye. Okay. The word boys hear the word boobies and lose their mind. Okay? The girls that get it, get it. The girls that don't. Boys are like, you look at them and they get like horny. Girls, we look at you and we fall in love. Like, that's just how it works.
2, 3, let's switch this up.
Hey y'all, it's Amy and welcome back to my channel. It is 4 o'clock and the sun's going down. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna have natural light. We're having a little help from our friend, the ring light. My hair's crazy, like there's not enough volume. I ran out of dry shampoo, so I keep trying to give it volume, but now it just looks tangled. And like, you know that urge to just like put your hair behind your ears, but you're like, I didn't get curtain bangs for nothing. The girls that get it, get it. The girls that don't. That was really cringy. Let's get into this girl talk video. I'm super I'm ready to chat. I got a lot of good questions. I won't have time for all of them because my freaking what I got for Christmas video was 20 minutes long and I shared like 5 things. So we're already at a minute. Let's get into it. So first question was about birth control, and there's actually a few birth controls. Like, birth control, do you recommend birth control? That was those ones. Well, there's a separate birth control question I wanted to answer. Birth control. I was on birth control before I started having sex. It was for my periods. At the time, it felt like the only option for me because I had really heavy periods due to a clotting disorder I have. At the time, we didn't know of any other options, so I was on that. But of course, it affects your hormones, it affects your weight, it affects your mood, everything like that. Looking back, I wish I would have known different options then, but it is what it is. I got spoiled because I skipped my period, which looking back, I'm like, that's totally not normal. But because my bleeding was so bad, even doing that like sugar pill week, I skipped it. So I didn't have a period for years. So, and then I had Timberlake. I got pregnant on birth control with Timberlake. And after I had her, you wait 6 weeks, you go back on. My body never adjusted to new birth control. And I'm like, all right. I was bleeding for 6 months after having her anyways. I'm like, I've got to try something different. So I went off the birth control, regulated my period, which that's another question. And then have just been doing natural things to lighten my bleeding. And I'd love to share that in a different video if y'all would want to see just like natural ways to lessen your period. And then of course for the birth control aspect, there's always natural family planning, which really is just as effective as birth control or anything like that if you do it right, and there's condoms, all that kind of stuff. Nothing is 100% effective. So like, I mean, unless you get like a hysterectomy, because even vasectomies aren't 100%. Michael had a vasectomy, but we are still careful because it's not 100%. So yeah, anyways, if you want to do it, do it. Just research it. I was on the pill. I don't like the kind that go in your body. I tried the NuvaRing. My legs went numb within 30 minutes. I don't like, not a fan of the IUD, the depot shot, whatever. None of that, but it's your body, so you make that choice for you. But if you have any questions, I'd love to talk to you. Another question was, how long does it take to get a regular period back after stopping birth control? And that's different for everybody. Some people, it takes 1 month, where like you stop, your period starts, and then that's just your new period time. I think it takes typically 3 months. I know some people's taken up to a year. So it's totally just up to your body. Mine wasn't an accurate description because I was also postpartum, so nothing was regular anyways. That was a long chat about birth control. Dating as a young Christian. This is a really good one. I didn't really date. I went on dates, but I never had like a boyfriend. You know what I mean? I had boys that I talked to, I had boys that I went on dates with, but I never had that like relationship, like middle school does not count. That like relationship. Michael was my first actual boyfriend. So I don't have a lot of advice, but I get it was hard. That's why I didn't have any boyfriends, is because they were all douchebags. Like, and I didn't want that. And so I would go on a date and I'm like, no, sorry, not it, bye. Or I'd be like, okay, this could work. And then they would realize my values and they were like, oh, not gonna work. And I was like, well, I'm gonna be alone forever. So love that for me. That's a really long straw. It almost went up my nose. Just stay true to your values and don't mush them down or try to morph them into someone else's, and don't try to fix someone, okay? They might not be at the same spot as you, but they have to fix themselves. Michael and I, when we first started dating, he was not a strong Christian. He like went to church on Christmas and Easter, and that was it. Not even Easter. Like, he knew God was real. He wanted that, but his family situation, he just didn't have that, like, he didn't go to church. He didn't have that like growing opportunity. But it wasn't missionary dating at the same time, you know? And I was like, look, we talked for a really long time before we started dating too. I was like, you got to get on this. Like, you need to lead me. That's what I wanted. And so that's what he did, you know? If someone really wants you, they're going to be who you need them to be while also still being themselves. Like, you don't want to change someone and make them like, you don't get to build a boyfriend. You know what I mean? But don't be like, oh, well, they check off this, and this box, but not this one. I'll let it slide. No. You will find someone who checks off all your boxes, and you will get teased for not wanting to have sex with someone or not wanting to send a picture of your boobies or anything like that. But it's okay, because your husband is not going to ask for that stuff, okay? And disclaimer, Michael and I had sex before marriage. I never planned on that. We waited for each other, but not before we were married. And that was a mutual decision. He did not like coax me into it, like, oh, Amy, it's okay. Like, we were both in this mindset where, oh, we're getting married, it's okay. It wasn't, okay? We've dealt with that. But that's another thing. Just because you know you're going to get married to them doesn't mean that it's okay. And I can say premarital sex and marital sex, totally different, even with the same person. Marital sex, 10 times better. There's no guilt. It feels better, okay? So even with the same person, I only have one person to compare it to, but pre-marriage and like post-marital, like while being married sex is so much better. So I hope that answered your question. What was my pregnancy like? How did I feel through it? Nausea, dizzy, etc. First trimester, I felt like crap. Thought I was gonna die. It was quite possibly the sickest I've been in my life. And if you know me in real life, I've been very, very sick. Okay, it was not the sickest, but it was up there. I've dealt with chronic illness for years. So that first trimester, I was like, are you kidding me? Why do I feel so bad? Like, it was awful. And I had a lot of infections. So I was on antibiotics, and antibiotics causes my Lyme to flare up and like hurts. All this kind of, well, like kills it, causes me to hurts. Anyways, I feel like crap. But second trimester, pure bliss. Third trimester, I was fat and uncomfortable, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I was dizzy the third trimester, but I'm also always dizzy. I was incredibly nauseous the first trimester, but I'm also always nauseous. Second trimester, I felt amazing. Second trimester was probably the best I felt in my life. I had a cute little bump. I felt great. First trimester, awful. Third trimester was uncomfortable. But everybody's different. So, but I guess because I always felt bad anyways, it wasn't a huge difference. But the first trimester sucked for sure. Oh, how do you leave a toxic friendship? This is hard because I once again want to fix people. That's my toxic trait. Is it toxic? I don't know. But I'm like, once again, they check off this box, and this one, but not this one. But we can fix it. No. You can't keep toxic people in your life, because that just is like leaking toxic stuff into your life, and it doesn't make you a bad person for cutting someone off. And you don't have to like, there doesn't have to be drama. Ending a friendship does not have to involve drama. You can drift apart. My best friends from high school, I never thought that we would drift apart, and we are. And I get really sad about that, and I try to be like, oh, you know, we need to hang out, we need to do this. I'm like, Amy, we're not at the same point in life anymore, and that's okay. And I'm trying, it's something I'm working on, learning to cherish the good memories we had without trying to force new ones. If it happens naturally, it happens naturally. Like, there's some friendships go in seasons. Like, my mom has some friends that they've always been there, like, since I was little, but there's seasons where they're close. There's times where they don't talk for a few years, but when they talk again, it's like nothing changed. And then there's friends where she had, but she didn't have them anymore. But it doesn't like, there wasn't anything bad. They just drifted. And I think that's really important to know. There doesn't have to be a big falling out. There doesn't have to be that. And if they're kind of asking, like, hey, why are you being distant? Why are you doing this? Be like, hey, I'm just really trying to focus on myself and have the people in my corner, like, their values are aligning with mine. I love you, and I would still love to, like, have you be a part of my life, but towards a distance. Or if they're super crazy, block them on everything and move on. Like, there's two things. You can either just have it done nicely, but if they're super crazy, block them, delete them, everything, bye. So, I mean, I think that's the best way to do it. No, I mean, that's not the best. Those are the two options, I feel like. But, I don't know. Every situation is different. There are a lot of birth control questions. How do I move on from my ex? It's been 2 months. It goes back to those friendships. I think when there's those good memories, it's incredibly hard to look at the bad ones. Like, I feel like a lot of times we overlook the bad memories because there was really good ones. But you can't let the good times overshadow the bad times. Obviously, there's going to be bad times in every relationship. That doesn't mean break up with somebody because you're having a hard time. Like, even in marriage, there's good times, there's bad times, there's hard times, there's easy times. That's not what I'm talking about. But I think that was one thing. Because, like, there was boys that I was hung up on, even though I never, like, fully dated anyone. You know, you get attached. We're girls. We're emotionally attached. No matter what. Like, boys are like, you look at them and they get, like, horny. Girls, we look at you and we're like, we fall in love. Like, that's just how we are. We're like, oh. We look at boys like little puppy dogs that we can't forget about. So, I think, like, most of the time, you don't want to focus on the bad things. But when they're popping up in your brain, don't think about the great times you had. You can appreciate it. But then remember, oh, this was really bad. Just kidding. And it takes time. Whether it's 2 months or 2 years or 2 decades, that's okay. Like, don't feel bad for the emotions that you're feeling. Everyone processes emotions differently, and that's totally fine. But don't sulk either. Like, we weren't meant to sit in any one emotion too long. So there's nothing wrong with being sad. There's nothing wrong with being angry. There's nothing wrong with being upset or anything like that. But we weren't meant to sit in those emotions for a long time. Feel them, don't fight them, but once you've felt them and dealt with them, then you move on to a new emotion, because that's how our bodies are designed. Like, you know, people say going through the motions. I just say going through the emotions, because that's how our bodies are designed. That's what God designed our bodies to be. He gave us all these emotions for a reason, and none of them are wrong. So I don't know if that was helpful or not, but, like, it takes time, and just, I don't know, focus on yourself. It sounds silly, but the minute you start focusing on yourself and loving yourself, that's when you're gonna, like, start moving on. And you don't have to be actively searching. Like, the right guy's gonna come alongside you and meet you where you're at, and then you'll be able to start something new together. If that helps. I don't know. I, like, start ranting and I feel like I never get to that point, like, this is what I'm saying. I don't know. I spend all my time with a toddler. I don't do much talking anymore. And let's see. Okay, we're already 14 minutes in. Okay, I have a juicy one. We'll do this last because I don't have enough time. So she said, this is so TMI, but I feel like all the guys I've been with, even my current, hasn't gotten me to that point in bed, and I'm starting to think I'm broken. LOL. Girl, you're not broken. Okay, like I was saying, we can look at a guy and they're horny. Like, you can look at a guy, just stare at him for 2 seconds, boom, they're to that point. Girls, I just said, we're emotional. We're not like that, okay? Boys are so easy. Well, I mean, I've only been with one boy, but I feel like they're all kind of pretty much the same. Not the same, you know what I mean. That aspect, I feel like they're all pretty similar. Doesn't take much, okay? The word, boys hear the word boobies and lose their mind, okay? Us, We are ovens. We're not microwaves. Boys are microwaves. You just turn them on and go. Girls, we're ovens. You have to preheat us. It takes a while, okay? You have to do the prep process of the food, and you have to warm us up in the oven, and then we get there. It takes a while, and it takes different things. And every girl is different. Where boys are the same, girls are different. And we have more things that can get us there, different, I don't know, I feel weird, like different spots that, whereas a boy just has his one thing. Like, there's different areas on your body that get you stimulated and get you to that point, and different movements and stuff like that. And it's just learning that. Like, obviously, like, I've only been with Michael, so I don't have like anything else to compare it to, but it did take a while to like learn like what I liked. And I thought, I'm like, this boy has no problem getting there, and what is wrong with me? It takes a while. Also, birth control can lower your sex. I don't know if you're on birth control, but that was my problem at the beginning. Birth control lowers your sex drive, and like a lot of girls have that problem. Obviously, if you need to be on birth control, you need to be on birth control, and so you can't really do anything about that. But if you don't need to be on birth control and you are, that might be the problem. Food, it like affects your endocrine system. That can cause like problems with not being able to get there. Mood stabilizers, SSRIs, anything like that. I used to be on like medicine for anxiety and depression. That killed my sex drive. All that stuff takes a part into it. So like, you're not broken. And if you're not on that stuff, maybe they just don't know what they're doing. Okay? So you can take charge, learn what you like, and just communicate that. But it might take a while, but you're not broken. I promise. I promise you're not. I feel like all girls go through that. Like, I'm in a lot of like, not groups, that sounds weird. I mean like Facebook groups, just like girl talk, I guess. Like, not like a sex talk group. That just sounds so weird. But like, once a week people can ask questions, and there's like married girls, and they're like, I can't get to that point with my husband. Is something wrong with me? And all these other girls are like, no, you're not broken, I promise. Like, just experiment, find what you like, and it's gonna take a while, but you're not broken. And communicate to your partner, like, hey, I'm having a hard time with this. Like, I'm not able to get to that point. Because sex is not just for the guys, okay? I hate that. It's for both of us, okay? It takes two to tango. We should both enjoy it. So just communicate. Like, say, hey, I'm having a hard time getting to that point, and I'd really like to get there, so let's figure out what we can do to get me to that point. Because if you don't have communication in sex, it's just not gonna work. It's just not. Your body's gonna be so tensed up, and you're like, can't do it. So I guess I hope that is good advice. Like I said, I don't have full advice because I have only been with Michael. And also, like, y'all, whether you've had sex with one person, 10 people, 100 people, does not matter. I am not judging you. Will never judge you. Not my place. Different people's choices have no effect on me. You do you. My beliefs don't affect you. Okay? I wanted to wait till marriage. I wanted to have sex with only one person. I have only had sex with one person, but I did not wait till marriage. But it's with my now husband. But if that's not something that you want to do, I'm not going to force that on you. Obviously, that is what I believe, and that's how we will raise Timberly, my daughter. But if that's not how you're raised and that's not what you believe, that's okay. It's not my place to step over that line and like pound that into you. But if you want to know why I believe that, I'd love to chat about that too. But that's not what this video is about. This is just trying to give you advice. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. Once again, another 20-minute video. Okay, this straw's not for this cup, but I wanted a straw because my lip gloss. But I keep almost stabbing myself in the nose. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this, and I hope it was helpful. Like I said, there was no judgment here. We can all believe different things. We weren't meant to do life with people who think the same and look the same and vote the same and believe the same. Like, we're all different, and that's okay, and that's how God made us. So I love you guys, and I'm so excited to be doing these videos. My next video is going to be a 2021 recap, and I'm going to make it a little artsy, so I'm really excited about that. I'm not excited about this lighting, but it's fine. Also, I'm getting a mic because it makes a little noise in the back right now, driving me crazy. But until then, this is what we have. So sorry I talked too much. I love you guys, and I will see you next week. I'm going to start posting on Sundays, by the way. That's what y'all said on Instagram. Almost everybody said Sundays. So that's what we're doing. We will post every Sunday. I'll try my best. Thank you guys. I'm really excited. Bye.